Oh, it does not get better than fall, guys. Today, a very straightforward, simplified, one of the most stupidly easy versions of Santa I've ever created. By far, in fact, the most easy version, the easiest version. This is in a piece of 1x1 by 3-inch basswood, and it just doesn't get much simpler. So if you're new to carving, this is a great place to start. A couple of challenging parts here, but you've absolutely got this. I have full faith in you. So this project is, again, a knife-only project, which means I've got an 1.5-inch blade, and that is it. No other tools required outside of a strop. Oh, listen, the egrets. It's amazing, isn't it? Wow, there's so many. I think that was, did I count 7 or 8 egrets flying overhead? Anyway, yeah, without further ado, if you want to learn more about this stuff in depth, carving realistic faces, I've got an online school, and it is chock full of content that is designed to help you. So, all right, this is the longest intro. Let's get into it, huh? Okay, so of course I've got my 1x1 by 3-inch piece of basswood. I'm using a ruler, a pencil, and a strop. Now, of course, the strop is important because as the tool gets dull, you want to drag that blade across that strop and get yourself in good shape, because it's inevitable that the tool will get dull from the carving, and if you have your strop nearby, you'll always be able to tune it up, bring it into a good spot, and so long as you're not damaging it severely by dropping it or hitting something in the wood like metal, you should be able to maintain the blade that way and resist using a whole host of other sharpening tools. So the knife I'm using here is an 1.5-inch Flexcut blade. It's attached, you can see this is a Carving Jack 2.0. It's a good blade. I'll link that in the description, but really any 1.5-inch blade that holds an edge well will do. The first thing I want to do though is make a marking on my 1x1. Well, I guess before that even, why don't we take the sharp edges off of this block just to keep us from hurting ourselves. And then just take the corners off as well, just like so. And it is a stunning fall day out. It's sunny, it's warm, you know, warm for a late October day, that's for sure. It's in the high 60s Fahrenheit. So I'm just going through, like I said, taking the corners off just so it's easier and more fun to handle. Excuse me. All right, so next thing, as I mentioned earlier, I was getting ahead of myself. I want to make a marking at about 1.75 inches. Just like so. All right. Now once I've done that, I want to make this line kind of angle downwards. Something like that, maybe a little bit less dramatic. Okay, and then wrap this around here. All right, so we've got a line that's 1 inch. Well, let's see. How much room do we got from the bottom? Yeah, about 1 inch of material, a little bit more. So that 1.75 inches is about 4.5 centimeters from the top, for those of you with metric. I'm gonna make a stop cut and a relief cut by going in and stopping. One thing I wanted to mention too is if you're carving this project, you need to wear a glove. Absolutely wear a glove. All right, so I'm making a stop cut alongside this line and a relief cut. Okay, stop cut and a relief cut. And that chip should fall out. If it doesn't, go back over that cut, that stop cut once again until it does, and then back over that relief cut if you've done plenty of stop cutting and it's still not coming free. So just returning back and forth. Okay, I'm gonna go the back side now. So whittling is really something that your hands have to get used to. The pushing, the pulling, the strength that you build up. So don't be hard on yourself if your first attempt at whittling feels like a real struggle. You know, even for me, if I've kind of put whittling down for a few days or even weeks, I notice it. I feel it in my hands. I feel that, you know, I'm just not as privy to holding the tool properly or the knife. And this is one of those days for me. So please, please, please don't be hard on yourself if you feel, you know, that it's a little harder than usual. And take your time, especially if you're feeling a little out of sorts, because it's not worth cutting yourself over. This stuff is fun, and in this case, it's getting me to be outside, which I hope that you can carve outside where you are. I know it's fall, so you might be enjoying the beauty of nature from the indoors by a window. But for me, it's a really great excuse to get outside. All right, the next thing I want to do is make a mark about a 1/2 inch up from this line that we've already made, or about 13 millimeters. And I'm going to draw a line parallel to this one, just going across, just like so. And the same thing over again, a stop cut and a relief cut all the way around. You can start at the corners, it'll make things a little easier. Now on the side here, let's see, first let me draw a center line so we can see where the front is, or what I'm considering the front of the carving. This is the front of the carving. So along the side, I want to create a little ball. So I don't want to remove too much more here, because I want to leave some material for that. So I'm going to come up about, maybe 1/4 of an inch or a little more, and create a stop cut for that ball, just like so. See that? There you go. So now, really, it's like sharpening a pencil. We're going to take this end and start to reduce it. Again, just like sharpening a pencil, except we're not quite getting as sharp. We're going to stay away from this area where the ball is, stay above it at least, and just kind of taper the top of the hat into this sort of soft point. And take your time here. You don't have to carve as quickly as I'm carving, just for the sake of time, the camera and all that. You don't have those pressures, so don't worry about rushing it. Just working our way through. I never did continue my stop cut. I got distracted, didn't I? So I'm going to make that band all the way around, connect those corner cuts. There we go. And proceeding with the pencil sharpening. And what I really love is that I can smell the bonfires going nearby. Somebody's burning leaves. And I love that smell. Okay, so again, I don't want this to be sharp as a pencil, quite. So you can see I'm kind of increasing the angle and starting to kind of round the top of the hat up. Make it a little bit of a blunt pencil, if it is a pencil, until we get rid of that saw mark on the top there. There you go. Let's address this ball before we go too much further. So I'm going to turn the carving on its side here. I'm going to make a cut at an angle, like so. And then an angle, like so. Straight in, then turning it flat on its side, cutting towards the line that we just made. And that should relieve the material. Same thing on here, angle, along the side, angle along the side here. Looks like we missed our stop cut over here in the back here. Fix that. There we go. Or that would be the front. Okay, so we're just kind of outlining the ball of the hat. I believe it's formally called the fuzzball. No, I'm not being serious. The leaves are falling in real time right now. How cool is that? Fall is well upon us, well upon us. In fact, this is a nice little show of warm. This is warm for us here in Michigan. Usually in the fall time, at this time of year, we're in the low 50s and 40s, quite cold, near freezing. But at this stage, again, I'm out here and I'm just carving without a care, staying warm with a light jacket. And that is what I call heaven on earth. Fall in Michigan is by far my favorite season. By far my favorite season. I love winter too. I'm not one of those curmudgeon-y people who complains about winter the whole season. I really like it. All right, so we've kind of rounded the tip. In fact, we could take a little bit more out of the tip of the hat, more pencil-like. I got a little bit soft on there, which is okay. In other words, I didn't sharpen it quite as much as I could have. Which is better that than too much, because we can't add wood back on. So there you go. I've got my hat where I want it. And I'm going to round the brim a little bit more as well. Take a little bit off of the corner here. And just take this down. Go around the hat. Make another stop cut along the brim. You can start to see what's happening here with the hat. All right, I'm going to come down here. I'm going to round the bottom, what will soon be his beard. Bit of a slicing motion as I move through the material. Being careful not to leave my fingers in the path of this blade. All right, I'm going to come about 1/4 of an inch, or about 6 millimeters, from the brim of the hat here down and make a stop cut. I'm going to come in along that line. There you go, I can see a little better now. And cut up to that line and back and forth, reducing underneath. Very good. Oh, there's that blustery wind coming in. I'm going to angle this down, just like so. Then I'm going to come in about, maybe 1/8 of an inch. I'll fact check myself here. Let's see if I'm right. No, closer to 1/4. Closer to 1/4. Like 2 little lines, about 1/4 of an inch apart, going straight in with the tip of the blade. Boom, boom. See that? And then make a cut in and angling down. So this is called a triangle cut because I'm taking out a triangle of material. Really, it's more of a, what is that? I'm trying to remember what kind of a pyramid that is. Is it called a tetrahedron? I can't remember. It's been a long time since geometry. But I'm coming in, again, straight in, turning my blade on its side, meeting that angle that we just created along the side plane, and then coming along the top here, and back over those cuts if nothing comes out, making sure they all meet one another. And then eventually that chip should fly. Let the chips fly. There we go. How about that? this up just a little bit. All right. Now that I've done that, I want to take a little bit from beneath the nose, underneath, and take the corners off. Make that nose not quite so flat at the bottom. Give a little bit of a turn to the nose. And what we've done here is we've done a lot of things actually. We've created the nostrils, we've created the nasolabial fold, or the smile line. So I'm going to make a line for the beard here. And you could use a V-tool for this if you have a V-tool. I know that's more of an advanced thing for folks, not everyone has one. So if you don't have a V-tool, you can just come alongside here with your knife, making a V cut, and then equal angle cut, moving in the same direction, right above it, just above it. I mean, 2 hairs and some hair above it. And just like that, we've created the beard and mustache. Isn't that cool? Let me move this to the sun a little bit more. I'm gonna make the same cut on this side. So I'm gonna come in with my knife. A little bit of pressure, not a ton. And then I'm going to come at this angle here. And it's gonna pop right out. Just like that. Okay, it's at this point I'm going to take a little scoop from each side of the nose. I'm going to make a stop cut on either side of the nose. Make a scooping cut underneath, just like so. Need to touch up this blade just a little bit more. Clean up these cuts a little bit. All right, so I've done this little scoop cut, which again takes a little bit of practice, so try practicing this scoop cut out on a piece of scrap wood. You know, for instance, if you've got something laying around, you can just move that. You know, probably shouldn't practice on your strop, but you can do it. Very nice. All right, so there's that. And the deeper you make this line, sort of a curved line, the happier he'll look, because you actually make these cheeks look more pronounced by coming right underneath this hat. You don't want to go too far with that, but just by going in, really can get that cheek sort of pushed up, that look. There you go. Now I'm going to take the beard and take the corners down a bit more. Moving along these corners, really emphasizing them, putting little facets in them, which is just a fancy way of saying make little cut marks. Go all the way around, all the way around. Just getting rid of the flat section here from the saw. Little bits at a time. Don't rush yourself here. There you go. I just don't want to leave the saw blade cuts behind. I don't want to leave it blocky either, so I'm taking these corners down. And if I need to reestablish a little V cut that I made from earlier as a result of rounding, I will do that. And you know, really, it's nice to add a couple of little grooves here as well, underneath. Little grooves. I like to make a scoop cut underneath like so, just to kind of break up the monotony of his face, of his beard rather, make it, you know, I don't want it to be too perfect. Okay, let's establish a little mustache here. To do that, draw a little V groove on the lower side, right beneath the line of the nose, like so. Just trying to make sure you can see clearly with all that light coming in. Okay, another V groove here, coming alongside. Turning them, curving upside down, and making a V groove along the lines that I've drawn here, like so. And I mean, you can get a lot fancier, guys, with this. Again, this is super simplified, straightforward. You can see I'm making a little V groove, parting the left and right side of the mustache. You can make a little triangle cut if you really want to emphasize the mouth area. But either way, you can see what's happening here. Starting to get the mouth in shape here, starting to get the nose, cheeks, everything's starting to come into view. And just like that, we've got a very, very simple, straightforward face blocked in. So I'm going to move around the piece a little bit more and get a little bit more shape into it, a little bit more of a faceted look into the hat by using a little bit of a scooping motion. Again, stop cut around the brim of the hat. I want to make a stop cut alongside the ball, just up top of the ball, like so. Just like that, just to separate the hat from the ball. Because again, that stocking hat sort of bends over like so, and you can do the same thing on the other side, so you can see it on the back. Stop cut along there. Relief cut. Come along that ball, outline that ball again, and then take that chunk out. Should just come right out. There you go. Okay, I can take this mustache down a little bit. Take the angle, like so. And if you want to look happier, you can raise that angle. You can curve it up even a little bit. Because that mustache will get pushed up by the expression. Underneath that mustache. You know, you can really take this as far as you want to. I'm going to add a few little scoop cuts underneath to break up the mustache, or the beard rather, the outline of the beard. Little scoops out of that outline. And just like that, you've got a very simple, straightforward, no seam as they call it, where you have the hat coming over the eyes. Just so straightforward, so simple. I didn't bring my dental brush out, but if you have a toothbrush or a denture brush, you can use it to clean these little fuzzies out of the corners. It's a great tool for that. But that said, guys, I'm not going to overcomplicate this. I wanted to keep this super simple. I've got other versions of Santa. I've got some really fun advanced versions of Santa on the online school, and I add a new one every year. So if you really want to learn about carving realistic portraits in wood, I've got that school as a resource in the link below. Tons of new videos, 3 videos produced every month, beginner, intermediate, and advanced, focusing on the human face, but all sorts of projects there. But that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this. Please, please, please have fun with this. Take it in your own direction. Paint it. I could see this being painted with a little touch of red to the hat, some white for the brim. You can detail the hat if you'd like. I mean, there's just so many directions that you could take this. Again, I'm just keeping it as simple as can be. You can take some of these little planes out, you know, round the face a bit more. I mean, there's just so many ways that you can take this to make it more realistic. But that's that. Maybe a little cleaning up, and I'm going to call it. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you in the next one.